Newhall.
Hometown station, AM 1220, HTS.
Kids these days, right? Am I right? Kids have a little bit of a different situation than they did, especially way back when I was a youngster. And here to talk about things that you can do, a special event coming up that might help you kind of understand today's kids and how to work forward. Now, this is an event called It's Just a Phase, and it's put on by Valencia United Methodist Church. Karyn Malchus, Director of Family Ministries, here talking to me about this morning. Good morning, Karyn.
Good morning. How are you? I
am wonderful. So let's talk about this because kids, we were talking about this off the air. I didn't have social media. I had to get up, and I was the remote control when I was a kid, changing the 3 channels that we had, or 7 channels, or whatever. I mean, there's so much that they have access to from an information standpoint. And, even though, times change and in other ways, people don't necessarily change, with exception to the fact that with those times change come different social patterns and behaviors, right?
Yeah. I mean, basically what It's Just a Phase, so don't miss it, is going to embrace is that this is a different generation. Generation Z is what we're currently raising. And they're the first generation to be brought up in total social media and internet and everything else. So I actually... basically what we've done is gather the leading experts' information regarding parenting this generation, and we've tried to compile sort of an intentional way to deal with that. So it's just it's knowing that that what their brains are actually going to be wired differently than yours or mine because of the fact that they're growing up with different pathways. So what we're trying to do is that's one of the main sessions we're going to address the generation and how to parent them. And then It's Just a Phase, so don't miss it. It's basically about taking where you're at right now with your child and what age they are, and front loading, if you will, the next phase, so that you're not caught off guard, so that when you go from elementary school to middle school, that you're sort of aware of what's coming down the pipeline, so you're not caught off guard. And we put tools in your hand to deal with it. So social media is one aspect. So there's another main session called Rethinking Technology Through the Phases. And basically, I think you and I, we're pretty resistant to technology, and we kind of want to do a lockdown on it. But this main session that we're going to be doing is talking about how to align yourself with technology instead of resist it. Because this generation, there's no way you're not going to be able to resist it because they know more than you.
Exactly.
They already know more than you.
So integrated. I mean, even at my age, very integrated in technology, but they've actually immersed in it. This is something that we had to kind of learn to do. It's becoming such a natural part. I was mentioning even off the air, my 2-year-old great niece that already knows how to work the iPad and get to her little games and stuff like that at the age of 2. Yeah. So you're right about different rewiring. And of course, the positives of having access to such information, but also the pitfalls of that as well,
right.
and how to deal with that.
Yeah, it's teaching them that it's a privilege and that there's responsibility. And that sort of technology sort of overshadows everything we do now in parenting. The other main session we're doing is teaching your children healthy sexuality through the phases and what that looks like at toddler and preschool and elementary, sort of building a foundation there for what is going to come in junior high and high school. But technology plays a huge part in that now because they know everything pretty much by the time they're in 6th grade.
Exactly.
Lots of information out there.
But do they know the right stuff
Correct.
and how it works? That's really important.
That's
so
hugely
understand
important.
When you talk about the perspective of sexuality is the big picture role and not just maybe what you're catching. Like what we used to saw catching from the schoolyard.
Well, now,
speaking, I should
totally.
say,
And now more than ever, if you're not talking to your kids about it, guess who gets the most input? It used to be your peers, right? We used to just worry that what they learned on the play yard was going to be what they thought about sexuality. Well, now the whole world has input with your child. So if you want to be the stronger voice, you have to be intentional about it. Otherwise, the culture and the world is going to be informing your child and not you.
Exactly.
So it's pretty big. It's pretty big steps. So that's why we're doing this. I mean, basically, our church. This is not faith-based necessarily. It is a sort of a service we're doing for the community and the parents in the SCV Valley.
Open to the public.
It's open to the public. And really, one of our taglines at our church is here for good. And as director of family ministries, this was one of the ways that I wanted to be here for good for the community. there's going to be age-specific breakouts too. The other thing I'm totally geeked out and excited about is the speakers. We have Michelle Krantz, who is a phenomenal. She's phenomenal
I know
speaker.
Michelle Krantz. We
she's
go back
amazing.
several years.
If you know Michelle, you're never going to forget her. I still remember stuff she taught me when my 12th grader was in 7th grade. She's a phenomenal speaker, so she is coming to do the intentional parenting section and also a breakout. We've got Chris Jones, who is a hugely important person in our school community. He's an educational psychologist, worked with the schools for years, branched out on his own, and has got a lot to say. He's doing our technology piece. I've got Jan Hayes-Rennels. I know. I'm trying to get all the big ones.
Hi, Jan. Hi, Michelle. We'll go
Jan.
way
Hi,
back
Michelle. Hi,
with Jan. Yes.
So Jan Hayes-Rennels is doing our sexuality piece.
Principal of Placerita Junior High.
Exactly. She's principal of Placerita Junior High. And then I've got myself doing a breakout, Michelle, and then also Lori Wilson, who is a high school counselor at Bowman High. And she just has a wealth of experience. So I'm trying to get in the room everybody that I can think of that you're going to glean wisdom from and nuggets and just go, let me write this down. I've demanded that they all give us agendas of what they're speaking about so that we don't forget. But anyway, so we've kind of gathered all. What you have is like leading national expert knowledge with local expert knowledge. And I think that those two components together are going to be what makes the difference.
So if you have a child, if you're going to have a child, if you think you're going to have a child, no matter what age they are.
If you're thinking about being pregnant.
through the childhood era, I should say, this is called It's Just a Phase, so don't miss it. Valencia United Methodist Church, open to the public.
Yep. Saturday, October 3rd, 9 to noon. All you have to do is call the church office or go online to sign up. And it's open for parents of toddlers through 12th grade.
VUMC.org.
Actually, it's UMCV.org.
Sorry, UMCV.org.
We try to be different.
Yes, it is. UMCV.org. It's right there in front of me. See what happens when I don't look.
That's okay.
Oh, live radio. Oh, Karyn, thank you so much for stopping by.
You're welcome.
This is very
I love
exciting.
it. Thanks
and
for having me.
Tell Michelle and Jan I said hi.
I will, definitely. Thank you, George.
Time is 7:47. We'll be back with traffic after this.
The Santa Clarita Swap Meet is your place for great bargains, quality entertainment.